Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name of course is Michael, and in this video we're actually going to be doing two different things. I'm actually going to be doing a typical Transfer Tuesday video along with completing and rounding out my January 2023 budget. How this video is basically going to work is that the majority of the video is going to be spent looking at my Google Sheets spreadsheet that I place all my budget categories into for the month, of my income, my paying myself first, which is my investments category, and also my expenses. When we get to that middle section about paying myself first, that's when I'm going to switch over to a little bit more of a Transfer Tuesday and sharing with you guys my screenshots of different transfers I've made today. Other than that, I really only have one major update to share with you guys, and that is of course having to do with my monetization process, because I know several of you have asked in the comments, how is it going with your watch hours? The answer is good, but it seems like it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Basically, I'll check my watch hours, and right now I think it's at 3,917, so it's getting close to that 4,000 hours of watch time, but it will go up, and then it will go down, it will go up and go down, because it has to do with watch hours within a 365-day period. So those hours are constantly swinging. Anyway, without going into any further details on that, because I don't have anything else to say, let's take a look at my Google Sheets spreadsheet for January 2023's budget. Okay, so what we're going to be doing first is looking at this green income column. As you can see, I've already filled out paycheck number 1, along with my side hustle income. And so far, things are actually looking pretty good. Paycheck number 1 was above the planned income, and the side hustle was also sitting pretty well in the green, $530 over what I anticipated to get paid. Well, we are going to continue with a positive trend because I have received my second paycheck for the month of January, and it's a nice one. In fact, I was actually really surprised at why it was so nice, and I have no idea why, other than maybe it had some PTO or holiday mixed into the busy week. I don't know, but it's a nice one. So what's the number, you ask? $2,607.92. So $507.92 over what I anticipated getting paid for paycheck number 2, which is really nice to see. We always like to see the differential column be in the green, because that means that I'm getting paid more than what I anticipated, which is always good. And if we look down here at the total income, that's going to boost this month's total income to $6,767.05, which is $1,067.05 over what I anticipated. And on a side note, I heard, of course, here we are at the time of filming, it's actually January 30th. There is some like healthcare bonus thing that's going out. I don't know how much it is. I asked my mom, and she thinks it's somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500, because she got one too, because she's a nurse. And apparently by the end of the month, we're supposed to be getting that, whether in the mail or if it gets direct deposited into our bank account. I have no idea, but we were told that by our employer. So who knows, maybe I will have to add to this column again, which I have absolutely no problem with adding to the income column ever. So just want to give you guys an update on that. We are now going to look down here at the Pay Yourself First column, and as I promised in the beginning of this video, this is where we're taking more on a Transfer Tuesday approach, because I'm going to be telling you guys about the different transfers I made today. I know it's Monday, but you guys are probably watching this on a Tuesday, maybe not. And I'm going to share with you guys what transfers I've made, what money movements I have done today to bring myself closer to my financial goals. So number 1 has to do with these first category right here, save payments. At the time of last filming my last Budget With Me video, or we can just say the time I last updated this spreadsheet, I had planned to do $3,000, but I had only transferred $1,000. Since that time and now, I have made a Transfer Tuesday video where I shared I made a transfer of $1,500. Okay, so that would get this up to this amount, $2,500. Well, last Friday or Saturday, maybe it was actually Thursday, I can't remember. I'll flash it up somewhere on the screen, a screenshot. I made another transfer of $500 towards my saved payments, which of course brings everything up to $3,000, which meets my planned transfers for my saved payments for my government student loans for the month up to now $28,000 into that account, which is really nice. One thing I always forget to talk about when it comes to the saved payments, because I say I'm not actually actively paying off my student loans, I'm putting it into a high interest savings account with Ally Savings Bank. I always forget to tell you how much interest I'm actually gaining on this account, and it goes up every month. And this past month, at the beginning of the month, usually it comes on the 1st or the 2nd, it was actually $67 and I want to say 9 cents or some random amount of cents. But $67 just from not paying off my student loans and putting them into this account, which so far has benefited me greatly because it's like going up every month because I continue to put $3,000 towards this account every month. So that's why I'm doing it. And right now we're at $28,000 for total amount saved into that account. My Roth IRA, I already talked about it in my last Budget With Me video because I did that at the beginning of the month. I already transferred $200 into that account, so we don't really need to discuss that. I don't think this amount's right, but I'll have to go back and check that at a later time. The other transfer for the Transfer Tuesday section of this video I want to talk about is, of course, these next three categories, which are vacation, Christmas, and family, where you guys can see I plan to put $50 towards each of these categories, which are sinking funds, which I save through Ally Savings Bank. That's the holding plate for these buckets through the online banking platform of Ally Savings Bank. And somewhere up on the screen, I'll probably flash it now, is, of course, the screenshot, which shows that today, which of course is Monday again, I transferred $150 towards that account, which will then be deposited to each three of these sinking funds. If you're wondering what a sinking fund is, basically it's an account you make, whether it's an account online or a folder or an envelope you have in your home, where you know you have an upcoming expense and you simply put money in it throughout the year so that when that upcoming expense, the time has arrived, then you can pay it off or use that money to help pay it off without really dipping into your savings or the budget. It doesn't disrupt the budget like it would if you hadn't planned for it. I did this last year for Christmas and it worked wonderfully, really cut down on the kind of headache that Christmas spending can be for me. It just reduced any form of anxiety when it comes to how expensive Christmas can be. So I highly recommend setting up sinking funds in your budget so that when the time comes for those expenses to become due, you don't panic, you don't lose your mind, you don't cry like I often do. Just kidding, I don't actually cry, I internally cry. So yeah, I think everything looks good, although something's not quite right because it's telling me my total here. Oh, that's why, because I got to put these at 50. Thank you to whoever just said that in the comments. You forgot to put that in there. There we go. So that brings my total paycheck for myself, of paying myself, to $3,350. All right, so now we're going to transition back into kind of the more budget side of this video. And we don't have too much to place now into the expense column because in the first Budget With Me video of this month, I took care of most of it. And a lot of these expenses are reoccurring. So there's nothing really new to update, but there is, I believe, 3 areas we are going to be looking at today that I have to update the numbers for because I didn't have them at the beginning of January. And, well, that, of course, is grocery, water, and gas. But before we do that, we need to talk about mortgage. Quick story for those of you who didn't catch my first Budget With Me for this month. I overpaid on my mortgage. I made 2 mortgage payments this month, roughly. And, well, that caused my actual expense for mortgage to be $2,100, which of course is way more than what it typically is of $1,059. So I called up the mortgage company and explained what happened. And basically what they said was, well, what I asked for was that they could just count the extra payment this month as next month's payment early. So basically I've already paid February's mortgage payment. I don't have to worry about it. So next month when I make a budget with me video like this category is going to be left at 0. So right now, yeah, it says the differential is, this much over budget, but next month it will be evened out because it will be at 0 and I'll get to not spend any more money on my mortgage that I don't want to pay towards. So I just want to share with you guys that because I know I made that video about overpaying on my mortgage and a lot of people are like, tell us how that pans out, like what happens. I know some of you have done that in the past and you all had different experiences of what that looked like for you. So thankfully with me, they're able to just add it to next month and no real issue there. Moving on now to the areas I have not paid, or I've paid but I haven't updated into this chart. That of course is groceries, which once again are high, both because I paid for more groceries this month, my budget is high, so to speak, and because groceries themselves are high. It seems to be a continual trend here on planet Earth that groceries continue to go up in their price, whether you're buying eggs, which I know that's the new, eggs are like, the new plywood or something, where if you own eggs, if you have chickens, you're considered a millionaire just by default because you have such an expensive commodity. Anyway, I remember a couple years ago, eggs were just like 99 cents, 89 cents, I think, at the local Aldi's where I live. And now they're almost $5. In some places like Wegmans, I think it's like $6 or $5.25 or something like that. We try to not buy so many eggs. My parents own quail, turkey, and chickens. So we try to get our eggs from them. Of course, it's wintertime, which means if you know anything about chickens, they don't lay a ton of eggs during winter, so the supply is lower. But our grocery budget, just to give you guys the number, was $430 this month. And that's just because a couple reasons. One, I just explained groceries are more expensive. Number two is that my wife and I have been trying to be more intentional about actually doing dates with each other. We kind of get stuck in the routine of we'll only do in-home dates, which I know that's cost effective. Well, it can be cost effective. But we're trying to be more intentional about like spending time with each other and going places, having new experiences, etc. So that gets factored into the groceries because I consider dates also a part of the grocery budget. And the third reason why it's more expensive is we've been trying to order more healthy items, such as including like adding protein supplements to our grocery budget, which if you know anything about protein and the workout supplement world, protein prices like eggs have gone right through the roof. It'd be nice to see those prices come down. I don't know if they ever will, because when people make profit, why reduce the cost? And I get there's a supply chain demand or something, breakdown. Who knows? I don't try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about, but sometimes I think I know what I'm talking about, and I just keep going. Anyway, let's look at the water bill, which is the best number to put in anytime you have to do a budget and you're looking at the expense column, because my water bill this month is 0. I apparently paid my water bill back in December. My water bill is due every other month, so this month it's nothing. $0. And that means we are moving on to the last category, which is gas. This is gas for my car. And this month I realized something. I always mention that I use the Mint Finance app to track my expenses. Well, I realized this month I was using one of my credit cards that is not synced with that account. Therefore, when I went to get gas, it wasn't tracking it automatically. Oh well, but I just tried to figure out, okay, how many weeks have gone by? How many times have I been to the pump? And I'm estimating it's anywhere between $120 and $140 for my vehicle. I'm going to just say $130, which still puts me below the $250 price range, which who knows. Unfortunately, I've been looking around at the local gas stations and they are starting to climb again. Probably because I talked about it in my last video, how gas was going down. That's probably the reason why. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that if I've been the one contributing to the rising gas prices with my videos that reach just a few hundred people, handful of people each week. So, yeah, that's where we're at, $130 for my gas for my vehicle. Electric's already been paid. I talked about in that last video. Phone bill, internet, Amazon Prime. Ooh, car insurance. Good thing I did this. Car insurance, probably because it's a new year. We got to charge extra for everything. This actually went up, unfortunately, to not that much. $130. So $18 more. I don't know if it's going to continue like this because sometimes my car insurance would have a month where it was like $120 and then the next month it was $112. I kind of looked into it just a little bit and I couldn't find anything that was causing it to go up. It's not like we've had an accident or gotten a ticket or anything like that. So I think it's just the way of the world for things to continue to go up in price. Yeah, I mean, everything's kind of going up in price. That's to be expected. Each year, everything is going to get more expensive. You don't realize this until you kind of get out on your own. I remember a few years ago where I was just, living with my parents and I was working. So I was making, the amount of money I am now, minus the side hustle income. And I had no bills other than putting gas in my vehicle. And yeah, you don't realize how expenses play into things and how prices always get more expensive until you kind of get out on your own or you're required to pay your own bills. I lived at home and wasn't required to do that. So now I'm a homeowner and realize, okay, everything goes up every year. Grocery prices, heck, even I just realized this past week, it's happened every year since I've been in the location I am now. I take my garbage to the dump, which is actually just like 3 blocks down the road. Not far of a drive. So I have no problem loading up my garbage and swinging it over into the dumpster down there. But you have to pay for certain bags. I'm sure people are familiar with this if you don't get your garbage actually picked up by a disposal crew. Anyway, every year the bags have gone up by like $2 or $1.50. So it used to be $20, got you like 5 bags. That was a few years ago. Now it's $20, gives you like 4 bags. And then as of last year, it was $20, gets you 3 bags and like $3 and change. I just went last Saturday and $20 gets me 3 bags and $2 back. So it's like, oh, okay. So everything is up now by like $1, $1.50. Great. Anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm just filling out a spreadsheet. So I hope that's what it looks like I'm doing. Anyway, I thank you guys so much for tuning in for another Budget With Me / Transfer Tuesday video. I know this one was a little bit different format, but I'm like, it's the end of the month. I just want to combine these two, not make separate videos. So I did. And hopefully it all worked out in the way the data was placed out for you guys was able to be comprehended. Appreciate you guys for watching my videos and continuing to support me with your likes, your comments, your subscription. It all means quite a bit. So I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.